Offshoring. Offshoring is when a business relocates its production or service from one country to another. This usually refers to business companies, although state governments may also employ offshoring. Offshoring of products involves a relocation of physical manufacturing process to a lower cost destination. This is called product offshoring. Examples of such offshoring include the production of goods in China or Vietnam. A major incentive for product offshoring arrived when the North American Free Trade Agreement made it easier for manufacturers to shift production facilities from the US to Mexico. This trend later shifted to China, which offered cheap prices through very low wage rates, cheap land, few environmental regulations, and huge economies of scale. Services such as finance and accounting, IT, application development are also known for offshoring. This is called service offshoring. One of the countries to benefit from this was India, as it has had a large pool of English-speaking people and technically proficient manpower. Because of inflation, high domestic interest rates, robust economic growth, and increased IT offshoring, the Indian IT sector has witnessed a significant wage growth. Offshoring through free trade is seen as a benefit for both the origin and destination country by lower cost of goods and services to the origin country and providing jobs to the destination country. Therefore, both sides should see an increase in GDP. And the total number of jobs increases in both countries, since those workers in the origin country that lost their job can move to higher value jobs in which their country has a comparative advantage. There are pros and cons to offshoring. One of the pros is cost differentials. One of the reasons that companies are moving their operations overseas is the lower labor costs. Compared to paying employees in the United States, it is more affordable to pay foreign workers. Costs of certain materials, such as raw materials, are also cheaper, especially if they are produced in the country where a company is offshoring jobs. Secondly, it provides jobs in the developing nations. Most companies in highly developed countries move some of their operations to less developed countries with excessive unemployment rates. By offering more jobs to the locals, the situation and economy of the developing nations are sure to improve. Thirdly, they improve business operations. Offshoring to countries with different time zones will enable companies to provide customer support 24/7 and cater consumers in other parts of the world. There are also disadvantages to offshoring. Offshoring incurs costs in certain aspects. A company may be able to save money from lower wages, but they might spend more in training and supervising overseas employees. In the end, the cost differential might not be as pronounced or one that can be clearly felt by the pocket. Products may be cheaper to produce abroad, but the cost of shipping them may not be as cheap. Secondly, problems with quality control. In the case of manufacturing firm, for example, ensuring that the product is built according to the company's standards may not be as easy as when the item is produced locally. It would be hard to keep an eye on the overall operation. Even if there are guidelines provided, barriers pertaining to language, culture, and overseas supply chains might still affect quality control. Thirdly, affects domestic employment rates. Because majority of jobs are sent offshore, very few would be made available to the locals, increasing unemployment rates. This can cripple the economy. This can also hurt the public image of the company, especially when use of labor abuse, environmental damage, and child labor will be associated with the firm.